everybody, and welcome to the Beverly Hills Active Adult Kitchen and our cooking show. And we're going to be cooking today, and we're going to be using a recipe from our Beverly Hills Classics cookbook, which is available at Roxbury, our little commercial over there, and it's fabulous and filled with great recipes. Speaking of great recipes, I have my friend Myra with me today, Myra Lurie, and thank you for being with us today. She's going to cook. Myra just retired from the school board here in Beverly Hills, and I must say you look fabulous after your retirement, and something about leaving things like that makes us all look so good. Anyway, Myra is here with us now, and I'm so happy because she's going to be making this fabulous sweet potato dish for any time of the year. You don't have to just use it at Thanksgiving, right?
That's right, Plucky. And you know her name is also Plucky. Well, it's my pleasure to be here today.
She gave me the name for her pluckness. I always like that.
That's right. That's what they call her in the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah,
take a look. So anyway, Plucky,
yes,
I chose this recipe because I thought this would be a really fun thing to make. And I myself have made little sweet potatoes in orange cups for a number of years for Thanksgiving. And you know, it's so much fun. It's a little extra work, but it is always gives your table and your presentation a little flair that kind of, you know, puts you over the top.
The Beverly Hills oomph, we call it.
Kind of like gives you that credibility of being a balabuster.
And a gourmet.
Right.
A gourmet.
Right.
And you know, I'll tell you another thing is you eat with your eyes first. People seem to forget that when they cook. And that is such an important part of cooking. I mean, you could put a boiled egg on a plate and it looks like a boiled egg, or you could put a boiled egg on a plate and you could dress it up and it looks like this fabulous little expensive dish in one of those restaurants that overcharge for everything.
That's right,
so
it's all presentation.
Absolutely.
That's why it's important to have that sort of Martha Stewart gene in you, you know, like people who own glue guns and know how to have pinking shears. You know, it's all about presentation,
I
isn't
never
it?
could be a glue gun person, could you? Because I'd be burning my hands regularly.
No, I got a hot and a cold one.
This girl is, I have to say, she entertains unbelievable. Right now you're making like 3 showers at the same time.
Yeah, well, we're lucky we have all kinds of beautiful young kids getting married.
Oh, it's a fabulous occasion. Anyway, we're going to start, and Myra's going to walk us through this. It's a very easy recipe if you have, you know, all your ingredients ready to go. It doesn't take long to assemble, really, does it?
Not at all. And there's a lot of options. We'll discuss them. So we're going to start out with oranges, which we have here, courtesy, I believe, of the Beverly Hills Market.
Oh my goodness, our Sean. We love Sean at the Beverly Hills Market.
We sure do.
This community knows one thing. If they need anything, last minute, early minute, whatever you need, Sean is there. He makes gorgeous trays.
He's fantastic, and also such a member of the community.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
always there, member of the Rotary, humanitarian trips.
Whatever you need. I mean,
Sean's
you need
terrific.
anything, you need to have a charity event or something, Sean is like the first one in line to help you. He is amazing. He is like a little treasure in our community. We love him.
So thanks, Sean, for these gorgeous oranges.
And all the food today, by the way.
All of the food. I'm going to just show you how we're going to end up making these little orange cups, and I'll show you a quick and easy way to do it. Take the orange and cut it. I use a grapefruit knife, which you can see is a little bit curved. That helps you to get in and under.
And if you don't have a grapefruit knife, just a serrated knife. That's the way to go with this.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And you know what else is really nice is after you hollow out all of the orange inside of this recipe, you can use the orange as a fruit salad, maybe as a first course at dinner. You can add a couple of other fruits with it, and you've already cut up your orange, so you've got a fabulous little, you know, dish to put on the table or serve as a first an appetizer or whatever you want to do.
The other thing you could do, Norma, Plucky, is you could just take this orange and you could add this to your sweet potatoes also, because it gives it a little bit more tang, it gives it a little bit more vitamin C and sweetness in a natural way.
This is a very healthy recipe, by the way.
It's a very healthy recipe because sweet potatoes, as we know, are loaded with vitamins and they're low in glycemic index, right?
Exactly, and we have tons of vitamin C going into that as well, so that's all a very healthy way to eat.
Exactly, and orange is such a nice flavor. It's very fresh and tangy. So there we have our hollowed out oranges.
Okay.
Now this recipe, you'll notice in our cookbook, does call for these to be steamed, to be placed in a skillet that has water up to cover with about a 1/4 cup of vinegar. You could steam them for 5 minutes, then drain them, or Actually, I usually don't take that time to do it. I usually just use them uncooked, and that works too. So,
yeah, and I think it keeps them brighter orange. I think that helps the color.
Is that what it does?
Yeah, I mean, it's totally a personal choice. I mean, the nice thing about cooking is you want recipes that give you options. You know, if you don't like that nut, like we use walnuts on this, right?
Exactly.
But if you like pecans, you can use pecans on it.
Right.
I mean, it's good to do things like that.
That's right. And sometimes I actually put marshmallows for Thanksgiving. I do the same thing without the nuts with marshmallows. And I've had a recipe too where you take brown sugar and cinnamon and make like sort of a streusel.
And that just extra healthies it
Exactly.
up, you see, that way. Okay, so you scooped out the orange, and now what we have to do is pretty much just add everything together. Is that the way it works? Okay.
That's exactly right. So we're going to start, Norma, with our sweet potatoes.
Okie doke.
In this case, this is the contents of a 29-ounce can of sweet potatoes.
Without the juice, by the way.
Without the juice drained. Very good, important detail. We're just going to throw it in there. And I wanted to point out also that you could use fresh sweet potatoes also.
Oh, yeah.
Like this one. And what you could do is just put this in the oven for 400 degrees until it's fork tender, and then take out the insides. That's really nice, and it gets caramelized and sweet that way. Or you could even just boil it in water. Just take your whole sweet potato, cut it into maybe 2 or 3 inch lengths, stick it in boiling water till it's tender, and then you drain them, and the skin will slip right off. So you could use fresh or you can use canned.
It depends on time sometimes. If you happen to have a can and you want to make the recipe and it's in the cupboard, you know, go for it. If not, you want to be a traditionalist and, you know, a purist, go for the roasted sweet potato. It is, I will say, it is a little better flavor, I think. My preference would be the real sweet potatoes.
Either way.
Either way, it's delicious. I'm going to tell you, you're not going to go wrong on that.
It depends on the time of year, because this is a great recipe for the holiday season, but it's also really a good recipe any time of year.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's easier to find sweet potatoes and not other times. So we go on. This is the contents of a 8.5-ounce can of pineapple, which is crushed in juice. We're putting the whole thing right in there.
Now, are we adding the juice to this, or is this drained?
I believe that this is undrained. That's with the pineapple juice in it.
So use all the juice in that pineapple.
That's correct. And then we're going to add a stick of butter.
Which we have at room temperature. Make sure the butter's soft so that it blends well with everything.
Exactly.
Actually, pretty much when you're cooking, you should have everything the same temperature anyway. You should use, everything you're making should be the same temperature, so keep everything out at room temperature before you use it. That way it combines better, and it really does make the taste better of everything.
Absolutely. And again, when we're talking about options, if you want this to be a little less fattening, maybe not quite as delicious, you could omit or you could reduce the butter. That is a full stick of butter for this recipe.
Yeah, so you probably could get away with using a little less butter if you are, you know, watching your fats and you want to make it a little lower fat recipe.
Exactly. Now I'm just taking a potato masher to sort of get it all squished up here.
That's a good way to do it.
And you could do it with a
what's
fork.
nice about the potato masher is you do still have little pieces, which is nice of the, you know, you're not really mashing it up so that you can't recognize everything.
But it just sort of gets it a little bit more
together. You really want to just combine all of the ingredients together so they all have that flavor from the pineapple, from the sweet potatoes, from the butter, everything that's gone in there so far.
Exactly, and it's a delicious combination with that pineapple.
And it's a good workout.
And
once again, in this kitchen, what we do is we try to work out as we cook. That way we don't feel so guilty afterwards when we eat everything.
That's right. You might even take those 29-ounce cans and use those.
Lift them. You could do a little lifting before you even open them.
Absolutely.
I mean, listen, we're all for a little bit of exercise. Isn't that the way we do things in this town?
We do whatever we can do.
We make everything count.
Okay.
And you were on the school board for many years.
I sure was.
I know.
I was on for 8 years.
You know, nobody would really know, but, you know, Myra's actually 18 years old.
Yeah, that's right.
And after the school board, you know, it ages you a bit.
I look like 81 after that.
But now you're back to normal.
But I only felt like 101.
That was the problem.
That was it. Yeah. Okay, so we're all mushed up, right?
Okie doke.
Next, we're going to be adding a few more ingredients. We're going to add some cinnamon. I think, let's see, we had a little spoon of cinnamon.
We're gonna pretend.
We're going to pretend this is a quarter.
It's magic television, so we're going to pretend.
Quarter of a teaspoon of cinnamon.
Okay.
Then we're going to take a quarter of a teaspoon of
nutmeg and use
just a little bit.
Just a little little bit of nutmeg. And you know, I'm going to tell you, I always use fresh nutmeg.
Oh,
I always
she is a
grate
purist,
my
isn't
own. But it's, you know, it lasts a long time, and I keep it with my spices. And you just take it and you just rub it over that little grater thing, you know, and it is, there's such a difference between the fresh and the thing. I mean, try it one time for yourself, but it really does make a difference, and it's really no trouble.
No,
it really isn't.
No, that's really a good idea because it really is fresh. The other thing sometimes you might put in to spice this up is a little bit of orange rind. If you take an orange and you just shred the rind, or you know, just take a little bit of lemon
zest, just a little bit of zest.
Just a little bit of the zest. That also is real good. So now we've got all that good stuff. We're gonna combine it, mix it up, and
yeah,
it's
I mean, it's
really
not a difficult
very simple.
recipe, is it?
Not
it's
at
just,
all.
It's really easy just to put everything together.
The
And what is your favorite thing when you entertain? I mean, do you have any secrets you can share with us today? Because Myra really is fabulous at at entertaining. She makes the most fabulous parties. So
I thank you. Well,
tell us some of the tricks that you've learned along the way.
The most important ingredient are great guests.
Wow.
You have to have great people who enjoy, and hopefully they come hungry.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of stuff. I think, again, like presentation, doing little stuff like this, maybe dressing your table with some kind of fancy fabric, or sometimes we drape our ceilings with fabric and make a Arabic tent for Passover dinners. And
That's interesting.
Things like that. So I just think it's
Well,
fun.
going
But the
the
most
extra
important
mile.
part is the people.
And the people.
Yeah,
a great
the
party,
people.
great mix of
That's right.
people. Absolutely. And of course the hostess. I mean, it's all about how you set the mood of the party. When you walk in and your hostess is rushed, or she's, you know, stressed out and things aren't ready, you know, everybody else is going to be stressed for her.
That's right.
But
That's
when
right.
you walk into a party and the hostess is happy and excited to see everybody, and it's like, oh well, if this isn't done, you know, I mean, it's just everything is easy and fun and flowing. I think everybody just has a ball, and it sets a whole different, you know, atmosphere
That's
for
right.
a party.
That's
and
right.
I think a lot of hostesses forget that because they're so worried about making sure that the exact thing is exactly put on the table properly. They forget that it's not about that. People aren't there to see exactly how you set a table. They're there to, you know, visit and have fun and be with each
That's
other.
right. And
that's
those are
more
words to
important.
live by, because
Oh,
you
yeah.
do sort of get hung up sometimes
Oh,
getting
yeah.
everything perfect, and really that's the most
Especially in
important thing.
Beverly Hills, because you know
Yeah.
everybody has this big image of what Beverly Hills is like, and everything has to be the Beverly Hills standard, as Fred Heyman always alludes to it. You know, he teaches you immediately there's a Beverly Hills standard, and of course this recipe is right up to
That's
that
right.
standard.
That's
There's
right.
no question.
Well, I
about
have
it.
family standards too, because my dear mother-in-law,
Yes.
Sookie Goldman, always entertained like the most lavish, beautiful, perfect table and parties ever. So
Sookie is one of, like, she is just
She's
an
amazing.
icon in this town.
Yes.
She did so much for this community. Really, it's amazing. You're so lucky to have.
I am so
Sookie.
lucky to have such a wonderful mother-in-law. But she imparted a few words.
And your father-in-law is
And my
wonderful, too.
father-in-law. But I know when Sookie entertained, there were a few rules, not that many rules in the family, but one of the rules was no paper plates ever. So we're slowly breaking down, but that was, you know,
It's a whole new
one of
day,
the cardinal
people.
family rules.
Even in Beverly Hills,
She was
we
fancy.
go with the flow now.
That's right. Very fancy lady.
Okay, so now it's ready to get ready to go into the oven, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so what's the next thing we
Okay,
do?
we're going to spray the baking dish with some cooking spray here,
Okay.
right here.
These are the greatest invention, aren't they?
Oh, I love this cooking
I
spray.
used to
It makes
stand there
everything
with
so easy.
And I used to stand, you can't breathe, but I used to stand there with that paper towel trying to get the butter everywhere, the grease, and I
It's
was
so easy
It was
this
more on
way.
my hands than anything.
So easy. Okay, so what we have are our little orange cups.
Yeah,
and I'm
don't you-
using a measuring cup right here,
Okay.
Norma. And do you want to do it? I don't want to take the fun away.
No, I'm going to trust you to do it. I'm
Okay.
just going to enjoy eating it.
Oh,
That's all
right,
I'm going to
all
do.
right. Well, that's going to be even more fun.
Yeah.
But we're just
There you
putting a
go.
little bit on here.
Oh, perfect.
Take
it
another
looks
one.
beautiful.
Just put it right in there like that.
Take
And
this.
you could just also use a scoop if you wanted.
Oh yeah, an ice
Yeah.
cream scoop works really well,
Ice cream scoop?
especially because you get the same amount in
That's
every
right.
one.
And also an ice cream scoop will give you a nice little
Edge on there.
rounded edge
Perfect.
on there. So that's nice too.
Yeah, and then what do you do at the top?
Okay, then we're going to garnish it with walnuts this time. As you said, you could put pecans, you could put
Marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
Oh, that'll make it healthier.
There.
Well, the healthy I like.
That's
My
okay.
kind of healthy.
That's right.
Marshmallows. Well, use the mini ones. Then it's much better.
That's
don't you
right.
think?
That's right. A big one would be a little bit big, but
And
a
I'll-
mini marshmallow would be perfect.
And I'll tell you another little secret too. If you want to make them flat, if you want to make it sit flat, you can always just cut the bottom of the orange.
That's exactly right. And that way they'll sit nice.
And that way they'll sit perfectly flat for you when you cook them.
Which you can see right here.
Right. Okay, so now they're all ready to go in the oven.
We're just going to pop them into a 350 oven for 20 minutes.
We're going to bring it to the oven, and we're going to bring it right in here. Right, and how long do you cook them now, Myra?
20 minutes at 350.
Okie doke, and then that is all there is to it. Okay, we're back, and through the magic of television, do you not love the whole magic of television thing?
Oh, we do.
We have our finished product here, and these are gorgeous.
These are amazing. They are so beautiful.
And they taste great. They make, and on this particular, I can't get over the serving piece. I'm really sorry. I mean, you won't see this on Paula Deen.
No.
This is totally.
Y'all won't see it on Paula Deen.
Y'all won't, and you won't see fried butter on our show either, because this is Beverly Hills. But I have to tell you, this comes from Gary's, which is a store here in Beverly Hills that has the most fabulous of fabulouses.
Absolutely.
You walk in there and it's like you could, like a kid in a candy store. You just drool from all the gorgeous plates and serve. But this serving piece is so gorgeous, nambe.
It's nambe. It's so beautiful. We almost hate to dig in.
Honestly,
and destruct it, but
we'll force ourselves to taste it. Just for you. We're gonna do this for you. Okay.
So we're gonna try these. Okay. What do you think, Norma?
Oh, what do I think? I already think. Oh my gosh. You get that hint of cinnamon right away. That wonderful flavor of the cinnamon and the sweet potatoes, and that little bit of nutmeg, and that the sweet potatoes taste so good with the pineapple in there.
This is so yummy. You're gonna love this.
And that orange too. There's a flavor of the orange that comes through. All the flavors combine beautifully in this dish.
This is
they
delicious.
really do.
I think this is a real winner. I think you can use this, and it makes such a nice presentation. Everybody likes getting their own little orange cup, right?
Oh, everybody loves their own individual food.
That's right.
That is one thing everybody loves. And having beautiful, and remember, serving pieces, really, how you serve something is amazing. And I say Gary's all the way. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
They blow me away with this. This is gorgeous. And I mean, you really make an impression when you bring this out to people. And then when they taste it, they're even more impressed. Myra, I can't thank you enough for, with all the things you have to do, that you stopped by to see us today.
My pleasure, Plucky. Anything for you and for your wonderful viewers, and for our active adults, which are so terrific in this town. And thank you to Winnie for contributing the recipe, which we really enjoyed and we're going to use.
The president. Winnie's the president of the active adult.
So these are presidential sweet potatoes.
Yes, this comes from the top, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
And this is the cookbook, and you can get this at Roxbury. It's the classic Beverly Hills recipes. And by the way, we're having a contest for our new members, and it's going to be a cooking contest.
Wow.
And they can turn in their favorite recipes, and whoever wins the contest gets to be on our cooking show next.
And that is so worth you getting in there and submitting
our recipes, absolutely, and it's so much fun. We have so much fun there.
Absolutely.
We do like fun things, and Beverly Hills is, as we know, a fun town.
Yeah, that's
I said that with a straight face. Can you believe it? I'm really good.
Yeah, I say it's Mayberry RFD with a little Botox and lip gloss. It's just really a small town, and we have fun.
We do have fun here, yeah. Anyway, I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming, and thank you for coming, and I hope everybody tries this recipe.
Absolutely.
And enjoys it as much as we do. So thanks, and we'll see you next time, and have a wonderful day. Bye.